Hi, my name is Jacob, and today I will be talking about the Pazzi Chapel that was designed by Filippo Brunelleschi. It was constructed in 1430 in Santa Croce, Florence, Italy, and it was in the Tuscany region of northern Italy. The architect Filippo Brunelleschi was born in 1377 and designed many buildings. He's from Florence, Italy, and originally he was a goldsmith in Florence, but he traveled to Rome to learn about the utilization of geometry and about the linear perspective that was essential to the creation and construction of Renaissance style buildings. Some of his other works was the hand that he put into the construction of the dome of the Florence Chapel. Um, he only constructed the dome because the other part of the building was constructed by Arnolfo di Cambio and Francesco Talenti. Um, what the Renaissance style consists of is a lot of emphases on different things, such as um, manipulation of geometry. You're going to see a lot of circles, squares, half squares, semicircles, um, spheres, domes, stuff like that. Um, what I mentioned before, linear perspective, which was revolutionary at the time. It was a way to make a blueprint or a picture of the building, and it was a new perspective. It was a new way to look at buildings. Symmetry was also emphasized, especially in details in the building's facades. Um, it was seen as beautiful and part of the aesthetic. Um, the Renaissance style, there's a lot of inspiration taken from early Christian and ancient Roman, as well as ancient Greek styles of architecture. So the the form of the building is a rectangle. There's another rectangle protruding from the back of it. Um, some features that the building has is a large dome, which was very, it was a new, not new development, but it was something that was utilized a lot in Renaissance architecture and it's a staple. So this dome sits on four pendentives, and the pendentives have on the inside terracotta drawings, and the pendentives are connected to these arches. The dome sits on those arches, and two of the arches on the side are barrel vaulted, and this extends into the and makes the walls of the chapel. Um, on one of the sides of the on the back side of the building, there is an altar. Um, Above the altar is another small dome, also sat on pendentives because it sits on arches. Um, and yeah, the outside of the chapel features colonnades, um, which supports an entablature. They're Corinthian pilasters supporting an entablature that has an arch, that has arches. On top of the building, on top of the dome, there's a wall and there's a roof which has an oculus which allows light to pour in, which is also reminiscent of ancient Roman architecture. Um, and other features were gray pietra serena stones for framing, like pilasters, the entablatures, arches. And this building was used for monks and their prayer. It was a very religious place, and they would pray, they would learn things, but it was also um, a house for business, and um, it was built for the Pazzi family. It was a very noble family at the time, and they were bankers. So what's interesting about this chapel is that it utilizes geometry like squares, rectangles, circles, semicircles, which were common in the Renaissance era. Um, so it is also built on ratios, which was a very big factor and very big important consideration for what was constructed. It continues the Renaissance trend, and yeah, it reflects the ideas of Renaissance ideals, but also reflects the ideas of ancient Greek, ancient Roman ones. And this is humanism, which the way humanism can be seen in this piece is it takes the proportions of nature, it takes proportions of the human, the circles, the squares, the golden ratio, and like the Renaissance man, the painting or the drawing, it's that sort of attitude was taken, and the same approach was used in the construction of this building. So yeah, I can show you the structure now. So here's the structure. Um, as you can see, these are the Corinthian columns, the entablature. If we move this to the side, here are the arches. You can see the pendentives here that the dome inside of the wall sits on. Outside here, inside is the altar, pendentives and the dome. And this part was the initial construction by Brunelleschi, and this was added on additionally years later, I believe after his death. This was made out of foam core, paper, toothpicks, glue. Here's the oculus. It's where light was allowed into and created the sort of atmosphere that was intended to be created. And yeah, thank you for watching.